If your real estate business is on the verge of failure, here's the number one reason why above all else. It's because up to this point in time, you have not been productive enough with your time. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly what you can begin doing right now to get back on track and ultimately find your pathway towards success in the real estate business. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Roicki. I lead over 200 real estate agents and brokers within my group called The Herd at eXp Realty. We sold over 900 houses and $275 million worth of sales volume in this past year. And I can tell you for a fact, if your real estate business is not where it wants to be, let alone on the verge of taking you out of this industry, there are three things that you can and should do immediately if you want to stay in this business and have your time be worth something to show for it at the end of the day. So according to the Labor Department, a full-time working year is 2,080 hours. So what I want you to do for starters is do a time audit. So what I want you to do is divide last year's 1099 by the number of hours I just provided to you, right? So that's going to show you what your time is worth. And for all intents and purposes for this video, let's just take your total earnings last year, whether it was 1099. I know it's not uncommon in our industry. People start on a part-time basis in real estate while working a full-time commitment, but take your total earnings last year, divide it by 2,080 hours, and that will tell you what you earned per hour last year. So what I want you to do next is write down in increments, 10-minute increments for a full week, what you did with your time. So that's from this point onward. That's your homework. And I don't know about you, I'm not a big fan of homework, but I am a fan of increasing productivity. And if you're down with that, go ahead and do this. Literally next 7 days, I want you to count hour by hour, every 10-minute increment, exactly what you did with your time. Journal it, take account of it. And that includes personal time, by the way. I'm not just talking about hours on the clock. And all of us have an easy part of the day. That's when we're asleep. So, hey, you get to block that out as sleep time as far as what you did, but everything else account for it in 10-minute increments. This will help you figure exactly what activities generate income and which activities don't. So you want to identify what key activities happened and actually create habits around them. And it might be eye-opening to see just how much or little of your time actually went towards those needle-moving activities that do put income on your plate. But identify those key activities, build habits around doing more of those, because that's what needs to happen in order for you to increase your per hour productivity when it comes to real estate. So schedule it in. Right after you have that data, start to schedule in every single day what needs to happen to create more income, and start taking the things that are happening that aren't producing income and start outsourcing those activities. So like if it's not putting money into your business, it's something that maybe you need not be the one that's doing it in your business. So just help you to become cognizant and aware of where it is your time's getting allocated. Because like I said, going back to why is your business failing? It's because you haven't been productive enough with your time. So this is an exercise that's going to help you identify where the shortcomings are within your calendar throughout the week, if not throughout the day. That way you can take that time you do want to be spending in real estate and use it in the most productive way possible with things that are going to actually add income into your pipeline. So you want to schedule those income producing activities into the day and fill the gaps on where it's not already happening with the time you're putting in. So for example, let's say that you wanted real estate to produce $50,000 a year in income. Using the math I shared earlier, 2,080 hours, that's about $24 an hour. If you want to make six figures, $100,000 is $48 an hour. If you want to earn $150,000, that's $72 an hour. So the reason to understand that is if there's something that you do that's not worth that amount, it needs to not be on your plate for the day, because there's other things you could be doing that would take that earnings amount up. Because if you were running enough appointments, if you were in front of enough clients and closing more deals, you're not going to be fixed at any one of those numbers I just mentioned, not unless that's your goal. If you wanted to far surpass that, it's a matter of filling your calendar with more of the activities that produce revenue versus those that don't. So if a task is not worth that dollar amount, it needs not be on your plate, and as it pertains to your real estate business. And you can even start looking at your personal life and think, what things are you doing that maybe there's someone that you can bring into your life that could help you with it if it's not moving the needle for you. You know, for me personally, I think about washing my cars. You know, is it worth an hour of my time to do that myself? I mean, at this point, honestly, it's not. But that's a habit that, you know, if I really want to get that time back, it's a really simple solution on how to do it. And I can take that same time and use it to move the needle and put more revenue back into my business. But figure out what those things are for you. And the second thing, so first thing is a time audit. Second thing is you want to add revenue producing activities into your schedule. So when it's time to do a revenue producing activity, you got to get it done. That's the big key. You got to get it done. It can't just be something you plan. I mean, planning is one thing. For a lot that are on the brink of failure, it's because they just don't have a concrete and solid enough plan. And if that's where you're at, if that's the biggest thing you need help with, connect with me. I mean, check out the description. I got resources for you. But what you need to do is identify what the most critical tasks are that need to be done to move the needle forward for you and your business. You need to put them onto your calendar. And, if you don't know what to do, or let alone how to do it, you need help. You need someone in your corner aligned with you that's very much invested in helping you out with that. Because if you don't, I mean, you tell me how you're going to figure it out if you don't got someone helping you. So again, maybe I could be that person for you on some level. So connect with me or check the description out and see what I got there for you. But the third thing, regardless of how you go about it, is you got to follow through. When something needs to get done, it's time to get it done. It came up on your schedule. You got to go and do it, because there's going to be days you just don't feel like it. And in my experience, there's more days where you don't feel like it than the ones that you do. But the real question is, what do you do during that time? Do you let your feeling, like the way you feel, override what you need to do to put food on your family's plate? Or do you still get that key action done regardless of the way you feel in that moment? Because the feeling is temporary, but results are permanent if we let the feeling dictate how it is we move at any given point in time. So sometimes you got to move your way into a feeling more than you're going to feel your way into action. And that's just how, that's the reality of life and business and being your own boss. So when it's time to get a critical task done, you get it done. You identify the critical task ahead of time, you get it on your calendar, and when it's time to do it, you do it. And if somehow, some way, something gets in the way, you still got to get it done at the end of the day. And you got to hold yourself accountable to those key actions and activities and get them done throughout the week, because it's too easy for a week to get by. One of the most common things I hear from people that don't seem to be on the brink of failure is that they have a few different clients they're working with, and time goes on and they get consumed showing houses. Weeks go by, they're doing what they need to do to take care of those clients, but they stop doing what they need to do to fill the pipeline with new opportunity. And guess what? 1, 2, 3 clients fall out, they disappear, they don't get a deal closed, and then they're back to zero again. So my point being is, it's a given. You got to take care of your clients, but you shouldn't let that detract you from actually adding revenue into your pipeline. You got to add new revenue into your pipeline every single day if you're a business owner. That's you're not going to have a business if you don't do that. So if you stop to service the business, you're not doing a key component to move your business forward. So that's why it's so important. It's not just when you don't have any business. This everything I'm saying is even more important when you do, because to the extent you can do this is to the extent you'll actually have revenue hitting your business. And a lot of people, they get limited because they only fill their plate up so much until they're just working in the business, not on the business, and filling the pipeline with new opportunity every single day. So it's your job to get yourself out there, to market yourself, to make sure that new people are always coming to the pipeline, and that the people coming to the pipeline are actually getting taken care of when it's time to take care of them. So you got to follow through and ensure that you come out of the week with a win. And a win is this. I got this concept from someone I look up to as a mentor named Andy Frisella, but he has a system called the power list. And the power list is identifying, going into each and every single day, what are the top 5 most critical tasks that you can do to move the needle in your business and life. And you identify those 5 things. The goal is to get to the point where you're crossing out all 5 things on your list, and you do that the day's a W. And if you win enough days, you win the week. But you know what? If you lose more days than you won, you lost the week. So the goal is to get in a habit where you're winning the week in and week out. And that builds the habit of becoming a winner. And a winner is someone who follows through on the key things that they identify ahead of time, they're intentional about, that they know is going to move the needle for them in their business, and they get it done week in, week out. Show me you're on the brink of failure in real estate and you've done all those things. There's no way, not consistently over a long enough period of time. If you do those things, you're not going to be failing out of this industry. That's going to be the last thing you're doing. And in fact, the only way you would potentially even fail out at that point is if you didn't have a plan that was working, and maybe that's the biggest struggle you're at, depending on where you're on the journey. Maybe you don't have the right people you're surrounded with. Maybe you're not in the right environment. Maybe it's literally all you trying to figure this out, and there's no one in your corner interested in helping you along the way. And if that's where you're at, I'll tell you for a fact, while that might be your current situation, that's not a permanent situation, not unless you decide to stay within it. Because I'll tell you, there's people and places, and there's other places you could go where you could align yourself with people that would be interested in you and your success. So part of why I I do what I do in this channel is to share information like that, to put more information and resources out there. Because for me, in my life, real estate has been a game changer. It's allowed me to unlock, my goals and dreams and really bring them to life in the biggest way. So much so that I've learned to think bigger and dream bigger in the process. So now I have bigger dreams. But I wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for the opportunity that real estate had to provide. But even as, if not more importantly, finding the right people along the way who helped me navigate the path forward and find my path from that. So if I'm someone who can contribute something to help you get closer to where it is you want to go, I want to be a resource for you. That's why I share the links and resources in the description that I have. That's why I do trainings, free trainings, where I share valuable information that if you literally put it into play will result in you generating more leads and ultimately clients if you're following the proven process. But again, maybe you just haven't had someone share a proven process with you. Well, let me be that person for you if you haven't already had that at a big enough level. Or, maybe you just want to get to the next point in your business. Maybe you're not truly about to fail out, but maybe you're just stagnant. You're not progressing. Maybe you've closed 4 deals last year and you closed 4 deals the year before that, and you're sick and tired of closing 4 deals a year. You want to get to 8, you want to get to 12. If that's you, you're who I do this for, honestly. You're the person I'm trying to reach and impact in this process. So let's make it happen. But that's the video. That's why your real estate business is failing if it is. And if it isn't, you probably wouldn't have watched this far. But let me know how I can help. In all seriousness, I'm here to help for those who are looking for my help. And otherwise, hey, keep watching. I'll look forward to sharing more with you in the time ahead. And I'll see you on the next video.